Hello, good evening and welcome back once again for the preview of day 2 of the Glorious Goodwood Festival. Here brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral. It is, of course, In the Know, and I am, of course, Ross Brierley, your host for the evening. Thanks for joining us at home. If you are a watcher of today's action, you would have seen all 3 big guns turn up in the Goodwood Cup, but of course Kyprios, despite not really looking like he wants to win, keeps on winning, doesn't he? Keeps on winning, beating Stradivarius and Trushan, of course, in the big race. Marban gave Charlie Fellows a big winner in the Vintage Stakes this afternoon as well. And we had a beautiful ride in the Lennox aboard Sandrine to win for Andrew Balding and David Probert, whereas other jockeys were losing their head. David Probert was in the pitch-perfect position throughout and gives that Prosperous Voyage and in spiral form a little bit of a boost, which could well get another boost tomorrow as we get stuck into day 2. Of course, the Oak Tree Stakes, Primo Baccio comes out of that race and goes for that 7 furlong fillies and mares contest. We've also got a furious and very fast 5 furlongs in the shape of the Molecombe and the Sussex Stakes. I guess it is the highlight for tomorrow, but in theory it should be another walkover for the unbeatable Baid. There are much more besides, of course, and hopefully a winner or 2 on the card for our pundits, and hopefully you at home as well. This is live and interactive, so please like and subscribe to the stream if you haven't already, and get the selections in on the old chat box. Let's get stuck into tonight's show then. As ever, the A-team are in a pretty good form, I guess. A frustrating form for a few. And Paul Kealy is in the studio once again on the wrong end of a front-running sprint handicapper that looked for 95% of the race like he'd been ridden to perfection.
Yeah, I had a good bet on Night on Earth. A little bit unfortunate at the start because Ryder lost his iron, and I don't know whether that caused him to drift off the rail or not, but it was a bit galling to see a 100-to-1 shot get beaten only a length having stuck to it. And then in the later sprint later on the day, a horse finished second from trap 1, got across to the rail. So they all wanted to be there then, but, you know. But there you go. Them's the breaks, as Boris Johnson says. You've got to dust yourself down and get on with it.
Yeah, that's who you're quoting, is it now,
yeah.
Boris Johnson? Yeah. Are you going for the job? Did you
no,
put your application in?
No, I think I do just as bad a job as the next 2, one or 2 that are going to do it anyway. So.
Surely.
I don't know, I'm absolutely clueless, mate, obviously, but yeah, I think...
exactly.
I was going to say, that's the...
I think that's a prerequisite at the moment, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'd vote for Keels. Vote for Keels. Hashtag vote for Keels. Let's get him in. Let's get him installed. Why not? And Tom Segal, if you heard that disembodied voice live from home, it is Tom Segal, of course. Who let's not get too political too early, Tom. Let's leave it till Friday night at the very least.
How you doing, boys?
Good.
You well?
Yeah, we're all right. We've you look at that slap bang in the middle of the shot. Beautiful stuff, Tom.
See what I've done there? I can't see any of you because I've had to put the screen right down low, but at least I'm in the middle of it.
You are indeed. We had all 3 turn up today, Tom, and it was the youngster, the upstart, the Ascot winner who he just kept on going. He just keeps on winning, like I said, all the way down that home straight. Even though Coltrane came there, Stradivarius looked like he's had a chance. Trushan threw down a challenge. You just got the feeling that Kyprios he keeps winning and he's keeping that little bit back for himself.
I couldn't agree more. I think he's much the best. I do. I thought he, as you say, I just think there's plenty more in the locker. I mean, I've got a history with this horse because I wrote a big anti-post article after he won at Cork as a 3-year-old saying he was a wonder horse and he's going to win the Derby. And then he went to Lingfield and ran like a drain. And then he went out the stalls at the King's Vase. He would have probably wouldn't have won the Derby, Adair's Derby, but he might have been 3rd or 4th. And he's turned into a real top stayer. He's only 4, remember, and I think there's plenty more to come from him. I think he'll win 2 or 3 of these Ascot and Goodwood Gold Cups. I don't think there'll be anything touch, unless, of course, he got soft and then Trushan comes into it again. I thought he ran really well. It was great to see him run, wasn't it? I think, as we pointed out last night, the ground was definitely very well watered, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was still quick enough.
It was still,
apparently
yeah.
it was.
Like
but the soft ground time was the 3rd fastest this century.
Yeah.
But the soft ground horses still ran well, didn't they? Kinross and.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely. We spent how many festivals have we been in, especially in here, going, what's it going to do tomorrow? It's going to rain. It's going to do this. It's going from good to firm to heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's perfectly safe. I don't think there's any doubt that Trushan is better on softer.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I think, as I say, if Kyprios and Trushan ran on soft ground, I think Trushan would probably win. But I think I thought he did a really good job. I mean, I know some of the trainers were moaning that it's too soft round the bends or something, but we've seen time and time again on fast ground horses slipping up round Goodwood. So I think he did a really good job. I thought for the first day of the meeting, I thought it was really perfect ground, really perfect conditions. No excuses ground whatsoever.
Yeah, and let's just take that because it's very rare that nobody has any complaints, Tom, and that's the thing, isn't it? That's the most you can hope for in horse racing, that nobody complains. We don't want praise. We just want a lack of complaints. That's basically what we're aiming for.
Yeah, we could complain about Frankie not getting Kinross up, maybe, but that goes with the territory of Goodwood. But yeah. We're always going to get those.
Yeah, I mean, he got up from a similar ride last year, and it just didn't happen this time. The door just shut on him at the wrong time, didn't it? I mean, that's what happens at Goodwood, isn't it? Basically, so we're going to see that happen again this week for sure.
Yeah, although it's even more frustrating if you are a 7 furlong horse, of course, because you have about 3 decent races in 12 months, which is you don't get too many. It's not like your sprinters and your milers. You can come back in a few more weeks and have another Group 2 or even a Group 1 opportunity. But David Stevens sat at home, patiently waiting for us to say hello to him tonight. You almost won £1 million today, right, David?
This was going to be the day I took one of our rivals for the maximum payout. For the surprise of no one, that day is going to have to wait for a future day. Anyone playing in the no bingo, I'm not sure they'd have had kills quoting Boris Johnson on the score sheet, but we await with interest what other gems he's going to be coming up with tonight. But yeah, look, it was Goodwood. So to no one's surprise, Mark Johnson won the first race. To no one's surprise, I backed the other Mark Johnston 14-1 shot. That really set the tone for the day. But I'm beginning to love Kyprios. Not only was he the only bright spot in an otherwise pretty barren day in my own personal punting, but yeah, I think he's definitely... I'd love to see him and Trushan on softer ground because obviously that would be interesting. There's no doubt today Trushan ran a cracking race on ground that would have been too quick, or quicker than ideal, I should say. I thought Kyprios won a shade cosily. And another horse I thought won a shade cosily was Marban, given a bit of a Jamie Spencer special in the Vintage Stakes. Holloway Boy looked like he was going to prove that Cheshire win wasn't the 40-1 fluke we perhaps thought it might have been, but Marban, as I say, winning cosily there, and he's a 33-1 shot for next year's Guineas. But it's Goodwood. We said last night, our beaten by a length offer is bound to come into play, and sure enough, Stradivarius, Kinross, Holloway Boy himself, just a few of the horses today. If you backed him, you'll get your money back as a free bet up to a tenner.
Okay, thank you very much, David. I'm just going to say, if Marban wins the Guineas, by the way, I'm joining the Navy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those. We were talking about it yesterday. We fancied Galleron because we were hoping that it would be held up over the strong pace, and for some reason, Moore decides to get involved in it. Yeah. And of course, we're all expecting a strong pace, and which jockey wins the race? Jamie Spencer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They set it up quite nicely for him, and of course, I'm going to have to create some sort of document or spreadsheet, by the way, for certain systems and qualifiers that come out of In the Know. There's the Paul Kealy, hugely fancy for a heritage handicap, gets beat, wins next time out system, which is pretty much bomb-proof. And there's the Tom Segal, I don't even have an opinion on this race, it's a sprint handicap, I don't know what I'm talking about, winner system, which worked wonders today, Tom. Again, it's a great news for you, because it seems like the less work you do in a race, the more chance you have of backing a winner.
It's weird, isn't it? The only winners I can tip at the moment are sprint handicap. At Royal Ascot, I had 2 winners, I think. They were both sprint handicaps. I couldn't believe it. And then come to Goodwood. It's just, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? I literally have no idea about them. I don't understand them anymore because I don't understand where horses are going to run. Keel's miles better than me. He realised that there might be a draw bias up the far rail. I think I just got a bit lucky. I think the pace was a pace meltdown and Lord Ridderford was in front when the music stopped. I think he ran it again. Night on Earth would probably win it, but there we go. Pays your money, takes your chance, don't you? It's a sprint handicap.
There you go, yeah. Well, I don't want you to come round to... I want you to continue to be modest and clueless on sprint handicaps, Tom, because you keep bagging him in, apparently. But get your selections in for tomorrow as we start to gear up for day 2 of Glorious Goodwood. But before we do, don't forget there is a Members Club offer as well. If you haven't joined up already, 50% off your first 3 months to the Racing Post Members Club, where you can get access to stats and quotes and news and, of course, Tom Segal's sprint handicap tips ahead of everyone else as well. That's what people are really signing up for, of course, with that Members Club membership. Moving on to day 2 then of Glorious Goodwood, starting off here with a 1.5 mile, 3-year-old handicap. Secret State is 9-4. Market leader for this warm renewal. Salcombe is 9-2. Maxud is 8-1. Mandobi 10-1. Box to Box 10-1. Surrey Mist is 11-1. Mugada is 12-1. Luminous Light 16s and bigger prices. The rest, 13 of them, line up for this opening handicap at Goodwood, which is often won by a horse who comes out of the race at Royal Ascot. That Secret State won last time out. No huge surprise to see him priced up as he is at 9-4 here, Keels. I would say that he got the pitch perfect run through at Ascot.
Yeah, he couldn't have got a better run through. I mean, the thing about him is he is completely uncomplicated, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You put him where you put him and he settles and he does what you ask, and that's what you want out of a horse, and that's why he's won 3 in a row. Or is it 4 in a row? I can't remember.
3 in a row. He got beaten on debut, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why he's won that many times. He's obviously decent. He is up. He's up a fair bit. He got put up £8. I can't argue with him being favourite. I was looking through this. You could make cases for plenty, because we've got, we're young improving 3-year-olds, and I got down and I just thought to myself, nearer the bottom, Inverness is just a very big price for what he's shown. He was only beaten just under 5 lengths in that race at Royal Ascot on the outside, very keen, and swung wide, almost the widest into the straight. Little bit below par then, but next time at Ascot I thought he ran really well, and he got himself in a right muck sweat beforehand as well, and it was over 1.6 miles. He still looked the winner turning in. Didn't quite stay as well, but the two who beat him were progressive. One, a 3-year-old that was second, and a 4-year-old who won it, who was winning a handicap for the 4th time.
And he went 3 wide round the bend.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
He went wide round the bend there as well. He's won his maiden here. I think he's improving. He's only had 5 starts in his life, and I thought 16-1. He's a fair price. It's a slight issue that Charlie Hill's gone a bit quiet on the winner front.
Yeah.
But you can't argue with the way Dark Shift ran at Ascot on Saturday. You can't argue with the way Pogo ran in the Lennox. So plenty of them are still running well.
Yeah.
So I'd take the chance at a double figure price.
Okay. My main concern with him was that one box Sylvester de Souza suggests to me a change of tactics.
Yeah, I did wonder about that, but
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Why not try something different?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's definitely got a bit of talent about him.
Okay. Inverness then it is. Who is what price, David?
Inverness is a 16-1 shot here, and we've got the extra placer with 4 places each way, so nice bit of value to kick off there from Keels.
Okay, Inverness then. This will do nicely for Paul Kealy. The 16-1 shots for the Hills and De Souza combination. Tom Segal complained there weren't enough jokes in it before the show. There's your first one, Tom. We'll see what number we get to by the end.
I hope they get better, that's for sure.
Oh, well, they'll definitely. I mean, I've set the bar very low to begin with. Inverness at 16-1. Plenty of these improving sorts. And Secret State at 9-4. What did you take out of this?
I thought Secret State was worth taking on. For the reasons you pointed out. Great run. I know the second came out and won, but I think the rest of the form's pretty iffy. So I thought he was worth taking on. I get the Inverness case. I liked Salcombe a lot, actually. Frankel out of Ribbons. Do you remember Ribbons? She won a Grade 1 in France. Top class filly for James Fanshawe.
Yeah.
She's a really well-bred horse. She's totally taken off since being gelded and had the blinkers on. Incredibly strong at the finish at Haydock, when he beat a decent horse by 3.5 lengths, came to Ascot last time, totally different ground, incredibly strong at the finish again. What he needs is a strong pace. That's the thing about him. If it's a dawdle, and because he's a bit of a lummox at the gates, he'll be out the back and he won't make it. But I think he's got. I mean, I can't believe a Frankel out of Ribbons I think he's rated 80. Can't believe that's the ceiling of his ability. I think he's got a massive chance if the race is run to suit. That was going to be my sole selection until I watched the first race today, and then I had a good look at Luminous Light for Mark Johnson, who won at Goodwood on his debut, beating a decent horse, War Horse, who's rated about 87, 88, 89, something like that now. Luminous Light then start of the season went to Chepstow, ran into Nathaniel Green and Ajero. Nathaniel Green won that big handicap at Haydock. Ajero was second at Royal Ascot. And then went to Ripon. I think he's been gelded since then. Went to Ripon last time, got hampered a few times, 1.25 miles. Just think this is his race, 1.5 miles. is going to be what he wants. I just think he's going to improve a lot. And just these Mark Johnson horses, as we saw in the first yesterday, they just take off at Goodwood. So my main fancy is Salcombe, who I think wins off a strong pace, and the Dane and at a much bigger price, Luminous Light, I think just might be a Johnson special.
Okay, there you go. Salcombe has been backed into 7-2 then for the Haggis team. A Luminous Light. Yeah, that length behind Nathaniel Green looks pretty good at Chepstow, doesn't it? So it could be interesting at 12-1. Plenty of other interest, of course. Maxud has been keeping some warm company and is into a handicap here. Boxer Box in good form. Surrey Miss could probably be forgiven his last 2 runs, and also Mandobi. Albeit, I think my opinion might change after a furlong here. But you think Salcombe wants a strong pace, Tom? I think Mandobi's very well handicapped. It's just that he might be one of those that sets it up for Salcombe. But I thought he had no chance at Ascot. He was drawn badly, and he beat Waiting to Excel very comfortably and looks well handicapped on that. But this could be race tactics could be key.
Can I mention one more? Mugadur for Richard Hannon. Won a handicap at Doncaster last time. There was 26 entries. I did the St Ledger, anti-post St Ledger in the paper this week. Mugadur was entered in the St Ledger, and I just thought that was a weird one. It was just totally, he'd been beaten in loads of maidens, and then went and won a very moderate handicap at Doncaster last time, but he won it very easily. That was over 1.6 miles. He's back to 1.5 miles here. Won't be lost on the owners to come to the Al Shakab Goodwood Festival, Gloria, or whatever it's called, Qatar. And I just thought that he might be quite interesting back at this. I know it's back at Trip, but I just thought it was interesting he had that entry.
Okay, he'll have to win this pretty nicely to maybe, I don't know, go to York or something before he goes to Doncaster, but he's a 12-1 shot. David Stevens, Secret State is 9-4 favourite, but a few backed against it.
Yeah, the first thing to say is I can't believe Tom thought there weren't enough jokes in last night's show. I mean, was he not listening to any of my tips? That's the first thing to say. But I took to be, actually, I thought Secret State was a bit of a good thing in this. I thought, in the race at Ascot he's won, I thought the seconds come out and won a Group 3. That was on good firm ground, so the quick ground won't bother him. And you talk about the St Ledger, Tom. I mean, this horse is just a 12-1 shot for the Doncaster Classic. If he's anything like, worthy of that quote, surely he's going to win this for a team that are in great form again. So yeah, I thought Salcombe was the obvious danger. He's obviously been backed because of Tom putting him up, as is the Johnson horse. But yeah, I thought Secret State was a bit of a good thing to get day 2 underway.
Okay, there we go. David Stevens says his jokes, his tips are terrible, and then says the favourite's a good thing. So make of that what you will. But Keels, the opening race on day 2.
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance on Inverness at a price.
Inverness it is. Tom?
Yeah, I really, really fancy Salcombe if there's a pace. If there's not, Luminous Light.
Okay, lovely stuff. David?
That's the eternal optimism of a veteran punter, Ross. I'm going with Secret State, as you know.
Okay, and I'll go with Mandobi, unless he tries to make the run-in after a furlong, in which case I never mentioned it. Second race at Goodwood tomorrow then on day 2 is the Oak Tree Stakes here, Group 3 over 7 furlongs for fillies and mares, where probably the most likely winner of this won the Lennox today. So interesting that Sandrine went for that. Of course, like I said, Primo Baccio wasn't too far behind her last time out at Newmarket, and is in here as well in what looks a red-hot race. But Heredia keeps topping up the betting in every race that she turns up in, and she's 9-2 favourite again, ahead of Soft Whisper at 5-1. Oscula hasn't had a week off since she started, and she's back again at 7s. Primo Baccio 8s, Bounce the Blues 9s, Samaram is 10s, Benefit 10s, Hello You at 12-1, and bigger prices the rest, including Miss Carolina, who was impressive last time out, and a few others at bigger prices. Roman Mist and She Do and Improvise have all got listed class form here. So race in the market kind of dominated by the 3-year-olds, which hasn't always been the best way to go in this contest, Tom. But with the number of runners, 7 furlongs, red-hot race, plenty of these in form. I mean, it doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, I mean, it's a big pace race, this, isn't it? This will be decided by the pace. If there's lots of pace, then I don't think the draw will come into it. I don't think it'll be a factor. In fact, I'd probably like a high draw if there's loads of pace. I don't really know. I thought Oscula's an amazing filly, isn't she? Got to give her a shout out. 16 runs in 14 months. She ran on Saturday. Best racing post-racing she's ever got on Saturday, when she was just nosed out by Keels' selection. Can't remember what it's called now. Jumbly. And she's an amazing filly. I'd love to see her to win from stall 2. If she gets no pace pressure, she's got a good chance in there. But I think Soft Whisper from the outside will come across, and I think there'll be plenty of pace. I think you can make a case for loads Primo Baccio, as you mentioned, from the Falmouth. I'm not sure the Sandrine gave it. I thought Sandrine just got a brilliant, perfect pitch ride, didn't it? I'm not sure she did any more than she did in the Falmouth. Really, I think Primo Baccio, if they get a strong pace, she looked brilliant at York last year, didn't she? And at Newbury, slightly concerned about the track, but I think she'll be all right on it. The one I thought was quite interesting was Benefit for Clive Cox. I just thought it was an interesting jockey booking, Ryan Moore, for her. She was third at Haydock to Sense of Duty and Flotus. Now, that's really, really good form. And then she went and beat older sprinters in a half. A lot of good older sprinters at Salisbury, stiff six at Salisbury. And she came home, she rattled home to go past them. They were rated a lot higher than her at the time. I think it was a throw-out run last time in the Group 3 at York behind Flotus again. I just think fast ground York 6 furlongs was not her bag at all, despite me backing her. And I just thought 7 furlongs, but given the ground round here, slightly worried about the track for her as well, I have to admit. But I thought it was 14, 16 to 1 or whatever she was on that Haydock and Salisbury form was perfectly fair. I do fear Primo Baccio because I think she's classy. But and I like Oscula. Heredia, I thought was take on the ball really. She was good at Ascot, obviously. Back to 7 here. I was really disappointed with her at Sandown. I thought there were too many sort of moderate fillies right on her heels. I get the winner was quite good, but I thought that was a real step down from what she'd done at Ascot. So I was quite against her. Soft Whispers clearly got a chance, but it would be Primo Baccio and Benefit for me, really.
Okay, Primo Baccio is an 8 to 1 shot. Benefit is a 10 to 1 shot. Yeah, just to mention Oscula, 16 runs, 4 wins, 3 seconds, 6 thirds, over 200 grand in prize money. And correct me if I'm wrong, but was picked up for 4,000 guineas, which is pretty good going. 7 to 1 for Oscula. But just
and
before
she should have won at Epsom when I backed her, and she won next time.
And she should have won last time when Jumbly won, so it kind of balances out.
Probably right.
The thing that stood out to me for this, the last time a horse came into this off the back of a win and won this was 2006, Red Evie. And it's just one of those races where horses, they get beaten Group 1s and Group 2s across the summer, and they come here and it just falls right.
Dropping class.
Yeah.
And yeah, it falls right. And I've gone sort of the dropping class route as well, really, and low draw route. Now, I think the only horse to win this from a double figure draw since 2015 was Bilsden Brook. And she was a course specialist who'd won the Guineas the year before and won the Sun Chariot next time out. So it's fair to say that she had a class edge.
Fair.
And, the rest of them have been drawn low. I do believe that only last year the race was switched to the Wednesday, and it used to be run on the Friday, so the bend was a lot tighter then. But even so, 16 to 1 shot from stall 2 last year, won the race. So I'm going with them. Primo Baccio, if she gets a pace. Now, she was tailed off on a return here in May, but the trainer said that she just wasn't right afterwards, and she's run much better since. But
well, she's run here twice, and it was a racecourse debut.
One was a racecourse debut, and the other one was first
so it's
time
hard
out,
to know,
she wasn't right. But there has to be a question, right? I think that's undeniable. But I think she ran a fine race behind Saffron Beach at Ascot, and it's probably as good as she is behind Prosperous Voyage last time at a mile. She just gives the impression that a mile just stretches her a little bit. It's an easy mile at York when she won, and they went slowly and she quickened up. So I think to drop to 7, back against her own, back in Grade 2 will help. And the other one I backed is Hello You. She ran well here last year, went 4th in the Prestige. She's been beaten under 2 lengths, and she's been running in. She was good last year. She beat Cachet in the Rockville. Hasn't sort of gone on since then. Was third in the Nell Gwyn, well beaten in the Guineas, which she didn't stay. But she travelled really, really well for a long way in the Jersey Stakes. The door got a little bit shut on her. She didn't pick up. She ultimately wasn't good enough. But she's back against her own sex now. And with a low draw, she's going to travel well, and I think she'll be in amongst them as well.
Okay, so quite a few selections then, unsurprisingly, in a wide open Group 3 for the fillies and mares over the 7 furlongs. I've got a 25 to 1 shot I quite fancy here, to be fair. Which I think last year's race was my best result all week at Glorious Goodwood in this, so hopefully I'm going to do it again with She Do, who cost me a Scoop 6 win when she won at Newmarket back in October, so I have history with her. But I think this could be interesting for her. The 2 last runs have been run at absolute crawls at Lingfield and Chelmsford, and both times, particularly at Lingfield, she looked like she was going to go and win. I thought a strong pace from box 6 travels really well. A 7 furlongs here looks absolutely perfect for her. I think she's 25 to 1 because she's rated 98 rather than actually what she's been running in. So I'll give a chance to She Do, who's currently a 22 to 1 shot here, David. But I'm hoping for some extra places here because this looks one of the trickiest races of the week.
It really does, doesn't it? Yeah. You will get your extra place here, so the 4 places each way for your She Do there. I thought, like Tom, I thought the favourite was sort of had to be taken on just because she was such a disappointment at Sandown already. She is a pretty uneasy favourite, it has to be said, actually, ahead of Soft Whisper. And Oscula, good money for Oscula this afternoon, 10 to 1 into 7 to 1. And she's my selection. She's so game, she's so consistent. But you've got to say, even at 7 to 1, there's still a bit of each way juice in that price. But until she shows that, she wants to stop running, they keep running her, which is brilliant. And as I say, 4 places each way. I think, it would be a major disappointment and a major surprise if she wasn't in the first 4.
Okay, there we go. The Oak Tree Stakes. Then selections at home. Samaram and Soft Whisper for Kieran Catterson. Really interested to see how the Shadwell horse runs, says Jonathan Sherritt, off for 292 days. Miss Carol Ann is overpriced, says Jim Freighter. And that's about it, I think. Alea for Thomas Dymel as well. But just to summarise our selections, Paul Kealy.
Yeah, I'll back Primo Baccio and Hello You.
Okay, very well. Tom?
Benefit for me, and I'm not really that worried about the draw. I'm not. I know what Keel said last year, as he pointed out quite correctly, is that the first time it moved to a Wednesday, and 17 and 13 were placed last year. I think the draw isn't going to be as big as it has been in this race in the past, so I'm hoping trap 14 for Benefit is okay.
Okay, lovely stuff. I'll take a chance with Roger Varian's She Do. And David Stevens?
Oscula for me.
Lovely stuff. Moving on then to the 3 o'clock, otherwise known as the Molecombe. 5 furlongs here for this Group 3 contest, and the Windsor Castle is working out very well indeed from Royal Ascot. And Rocket Rodney was just chinned in that contest before going to Sandown to win the Dragon Stakes, and he comes here as an odds-on shot, 10 to 11, ahead of the Norfolk runner at Wallbank at 100 to 30. The Super Sprint winner Eddie's Boy at 11 to 2. Irish Raider Studio City 9 to 1. Trillium is 10s from last year's winning connections, and it's 25 to 1 bar those, including shock winner Dickie Burt, looking for Linda, who ran well in the Super Sprint as well, and Thundermore, who also comes out of Royal Ascot. So this is, Keels, a good renewal of the Molecombe. However, Rocket Rodney's looks very good indeed. The form looks very strong, and he's got course form as well. He looks a worthy favourite.
Yeah, I wouldn't be 100% sure he should be that much shorter than Wallbank. Who ran perfectly well at Royal Ascot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Finished second. They both set a pretty strong standard, I think. But I have taken a chance each way because I thought there was a bit of deadwood in the race, and I thought I might be able to at least nick a place with Trillium dropping down in trip. Now, admittedly, the form of her debut second here took a bit of a knock when Galloway got thumped in the Vintage Stakes, but he got given a ridiculous ride, so I'm not going to worry about that. Trillium in that race missed the break and then raced ludicrously keenly to go to the front. And she raced just as keenly last time at Newbury when they couldn't go anywhere near fast enough for her, and she still won. She still ended up going to the lead a furlong out and winning very, very easily by four odd lengths. It may well be indicative of the fact that there weren't a particularly good bunch behind her, but she just looks like a horse who's crying out for a drop in trip and a real fast run 5 furlongs, and maybe she'll settle. And she did look good at Newbury. She's got a bit to prove, but that's why she's 10 to 1, and I'll take my chance.
Okay, there you go. All right, 10 to 1 shot for Trillium, dropping back down in trip. Of course, Armour won this race for the Hannons last season. Rocket Rodney, though, 10 to 11. Tom, Dragon Stakes, a good prep for this. 12 runners in the past 20 years coming into this off the back of a win. 4 of them have won, and a further 6 have placed. So Rocket Rodney's getting a pretty well-worn path throughout the season for a speedy 2-year-old.
Yeah, I think he'll win. I think the form of the National Stakes is really good too, isn't it? Eddie's Boy was third, went on to win the Super Sprint runs here again, isn't he? Cuban Mistress ran fine over 6 furlongs in a Group 3 on Saturday. Went too fast and got tired. I think he'll win. I get the Trillium. I'm a big pedigrees man. Remember Marshall Keels, Trillium's mum? She was a good filly. With a bit I think she likes a bit of give in the ground, so hopefully it won't dry up too much for her. But I agree with you. She was a big eye catcher. She was one for the tracker. But I just think Rocket Rodney will be too good. Of the rest, not convinced by Wallbank. I thought that was a moderate race, really, and I was expecting more from him at Ascot. Eddie's boy's got lots to find with Rocket Rodney, despite his improved effort. I thought Studio City was quite interesting. Michael O'Callaghan won the race last year. 2 years ago? Can't remember.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. He was really impressive at Navan last time. Before that, he sort of got stuck in the middle of the track, the same track. That's no good, Navan in the middle of the track, and Wadua, or whatever it's called, Wadu beat him. But I think he could go well, but I really think Rocket Rodney's will win this.
Yeah, Rocket Rodney is a 10 to 11 shot then. Wallbank is 130. Eddie's boy 11 to 2. Super Sprint winners don't have a fantastic record in this. Super Sprint horses who were beaten have decent records at decent prices. Those half tempers have a little tickle on looking for Linda at 66 to 1, who showed blinding pace at Newbury and lost 2 places in the blink of an eye late on. But again, there could be quite a bit of pace here. Wallbank's probably going to go on, isn't he? And Dickie Bird is very quick indeed. So Rocket Rodney might well be one of the best backed horses of the week here, David.
Yeah, he's another one that shortened this afternoon. He was 11 to 10 earlier on, even money, now 10 to 11. And I think for obvious reasons, he's by far the most likely winner. But really just to echo Tom on Studio City as well, I thought the booking of Ryan Moore was interesting. He was bought by Al Shakab, obviously the sponsors here at Glorious Goodwood all week after that last win. That was on good to firm ground, so again, quick ground won't be an issue. So he might be the one for the forecast, but Rocket Rodney by far the most likely winner. And he is a price boost for us tonight. So if you do fancy Rocket Rodney, he's odds on, but you can get 11 to 8 up to 20 quid until the end of this show.
Okay, lovely stuff. There you go. Rocket Rodney is 10 to 11 here for the Malcolm, albeit one of the features of the week. Seems a pretty simple one to preview here. Rocket Rodney to win the Malcolm, 11 to 8 out from 10 to 11. 20 quid you can have on in him if you want. Destiny Sounds is also having a nibble on looking for Linda each way. Chimpzilla thinks Rocket Rodney wins, and Zahir Shawani says, Ross, could you please kindly congratulate Mr. Paul Kealy for his bang-on prediction about Kyprios? I don't know what that is, but congratulations, Paul.
I tipped Trusha.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks, though.
Well, there you go.
I'll take it.
There you go. Just you just got to take the praise, even if you don't know what it's for in this game.
I'm sure I tipped Trusha.
It's fine. Just take it. Just take it, Keels. Take it.
I did nap Kyprios, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take any applause that comes my way.
Yeah. I think me and you said Kyprios would win, David. So there you go. But thanks, Zahir, for watching, and Paul Kealy. He deserves a congratulations every now and then, anyway, doesn't he? But moving on from the Malcolm then to the Sussex Stakes here. Of course, still an intriguing lineup, but in theory, another chance for Baid to keep on winning. 4 Group 1s on the bounce, and he's 1 to 6 to win again in the Sussex Stakes tomorrow. Alcohol free. Bidding to become only the second horse to win the Sussex Stakes for a second time on the bounce. The only one who's done it so far, of course, was Frankel, so it's quite an aim to go for. Order of Australia is 14 to 1, Modern Games is 16 to 1, Angel Blur is 33s with Chindit, and the outsider of the lot is Bathrat Leon at 40 to 1. Does anything beat Baid? 19% of people think that Baid is beatable tomorrow. Tom, are you in that 19%, or will you be putting your feet up and watching him waltz home again?
No, I'm not in that 19%, but it is Goodwood. He has got trap 2. Things can go wrong at Goodwood from low draws around the bend there. So, look, 1 to 6, he's the best horse in training, isn't he? And he'll win again, barring a nightmare. But it's a good race. Alcohol free's in there. She won it last year. She won the July Cup last time. Inspired selection from my colleague, Mr. Kealy. I see her giving him a race. I think she's probably the best horse he's ran against this season, and I'm not sure she should be 11 to 1, but I do think Baid is an absolute superstar. So I expect Baid to win. I expect Alcohol Free to be second, and I expect Order of Australia to be third.
Okay, Modern Games will be 4th and Natural Players will be 5th. And
They'll all be out. The rest can finish where they like. I just think those 3.
Okay, fair enough. Order of Australia, of course, who bounced back to winning form last time out. He's one of many Ballydoyle horses who in this division have been banging their head against your Baids and various other top class horses over the years.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to win, isn't he? I mean, I don't think anyone would be surprised if we didn't say that. But yeah, you can, in places you can get as big as 7-4 alcohol-free without, and I think she's not as likely to beat the rest as Baid is, but I think she's extremely likely to, and more likely than those odds suggest. I mean, she's just very good, and I think she's shown that she's very, very good in the height of summer. She won the Coronation Stakes and the Sussex Stakes last year. She's won the Big Sprint this year, the July Cup. Much depends on will she settle, because she has been very free in her early runs this year, which is why they decided to go down to 6.
And she's also she's probably going to be How do you take a horse from a July Cup and then recondition it to run over a mile 3 weeks later?
She could easily be free. There is pace in the race with Order Australia, with Chindit and possibly the Japanese Wolf Bathrat Leon. So and they're running downhill, so they're going to get going fast early. So I'd give her a chance, but it's her time of year, and I just think she's far more talented than the others. And even when she was pulling a Newby behind Bailey, she didn't run that badly.
Okay, alcohol-free then is an 11-1 shot here, but like I said, there is the without the favourite market. David Stevens, what is the without the favourite market telling us about alcohol-free?
Yeah, I mean, Tom's given us the finishing order, isn't he? It will be, I think, as the market has it there. It's interesting you say about alcohol-free, how do they condition a 6 furlongs back to mile and everything. We see this in Australia so much more than we see it here. Horses running over. There's not a huge difference between 6 furlongs and a mile anyway. So credit to them for being so bold. And she proves she goes on any ground. She's a lovely filly in her own right, but you'd have to think she's a class behind Baid. It's not very exciting. Karibas obviously dropping out, took a major chunk out of this race. Yeah, it'll be 9 out of 9 for Baid, won't it? And then we see him tested, obviously, again, going over further at York. So, yeah, I'm just trying to waffle to fill time on this because he wins.
Okay. I mean, there is another horse in here who's won sort of just as many Group 1s as Baid has since last November, and that's Modern Games at 16-1, who obviously things haven't necessarily gone to plan on its last couple of starts. But Tom, are we ignoring an improving 3-year-old here? Just completely. I mean, if Modern Games had come here off the back of a long shot win, maybe, or even that third behind for Daney, was it the disappointment at Deauville last time out? Is that what's pushing the price out? Maybe.
I mean, he's not that good, is he? The French Guineas form, I don't think is brilliant, is it? And then he's got beaten. Obviously, he didn't stay the next time, but he was well thrashed by Tenebrism last time. He's not in Baid's class, is he? He's not in Alcohol Free's class, and he's probably not in Order of Australia's class either.
Okay, I can't believe you're not going 3 places, David. Can't believe you're not going 3 places with 7 runners and a 1-6 shot in a feature race at a big festival. What gives?
Well, if it was the Coral Sussex Stakes, then I'm sure James Knight would have gone that, but because it's not our race, he's feeling grumpy.
Right. Okay. So I need to get in touch with Qatar. Fair enough. But Chindit, I thought was a little bit interesting. Probably should have won the mile here last year behind Lavender's Blue, and was really game last time out. This track will probably suit better, I think, than Ascot has behind Baid, the straight mile on his penultimate start. So I wouldn't entirely rule out Chindit of running a big race here. But Baid 1-6. How far, Keels? How far?
How far? Well, he never wins by miles, does he? 3.5 lengths.
3.5 lengths, says Paul Kealy. Okay. Tom Segal, you want the TriCast?
Yeah, TriCast for me, that'll do.
Okay, lovely stuff. And David Stevens, I believe you've got a how far price boost.
Yes, we've seen the price boost go up there as we speak. You're right, he doesn't win by far normally. Maybe his last run over a mile tomorrow is where Jim will really let him show us what he's made of. Frankel-esque, over 4 lengths, 5-4. So, yeah, nice. Look, we've done our best to make this exciting, but I think we all know deep down it's going to be a bit of a procession.
Okay, well, as long as Chindit finishes second, then I'll be excited until the end of the Sussex Stakes tomorrow. We've got 3 more races on day 2 of Glorious Goodwood. A filly's handicap, 10 furlongs, just about the distance here, where it is contractually, you're pretty much contractually obliged to put any haggis and Sunderland Holdings horse in as favoured, or at the very least second favoured, and C Speedwell is at the top of the betting here at 3-1. Natasha for the Gosdens at 4-1. State Occasion 11-2. Peripatetic is 7-1. Ruse is 8-1. Lyrical Lady at 9s. Value Theory at 9s. Merstica is a 9-1 shot as well. 9 of them run here for this fillies handicap over at Goodwood, but. You've got a 4-year-old from the Haggis stable, giving weight to a few of the improving 3-year-olds, but they just don't miss with these Sunderland horses, do they?
No, they don't. They must have a remarkable strike rate, those owned horses, mustn't they? I looked at this race and I gave up.
In life,
I thought myself, I can sort of make a reasonable case for everything in the race, and I came down. I'd say top of my list was State Occasion. He was fourth in the Kensington Palace. Second last time out raced very freely. A little bit worried because going up in trip, but seemed to see it out okay on one go last year at Newmarket. And Miristica, I mean, the reason I like those two is they've all got handicap experience. And I think, Goodwood's one of those tracks where I think you want a bit of experience sometimes. And Miristica only just got, beat last time when chasing a hat-trick, but still improved. And would run well as well. But I mean, I couldn't actually say that I fancied anything that strongly to have a punt.
Okay. A couple against the field, likely from Paul Kealy. State Occasion is an 11-2 shot. And Merstica is a 9-1 shot. But yeah, I mean, you can tell by the way the betting is set up here, Tom, that this is a pretty tricky race on our screen. C Speedwell 3-1, only 6 points between that and Merstica, and all of them in between have got a chance. Lyrical Lady ran pretty well in grade last time out. I mean, if Heredia, for example, is a 9-2 shot for a Group 3, Lyrical Lady is a 9-1 shot for a handicap?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not convinced by the Sandown form. You guys know I like pedigrees. Natasha is a Frankel half-sister to Almanzor. C Speedwell is a Sea the Stars half-sister to Group 1 winners in Australia. They have had very little runs, and I made the mistake today of trying to take on the pedigrees in that fillies race. And Michael Stout's Frankel out of whatever it was called, Crystal Zavedra, won by miles and could have won by 25 lengths probably if she'd wanted. I, like Keels, was desperate to find one in here because the top two probably haven't got the form in the book to win, but are priced up because they're so well bred, and they're with William Haggis and John Gosden. And I was looking at Rousset, simply because she's got, as Keel says, handicap form. She's run well at Goodwood. She ran well last time upped in trip at Salisbury. But I just think one of the top two will win, because I just think they'll end up being a lot better than they currently are. My guess would be that Natasha might be the one after her comeback run. I noticed she was well backed that day. She didn't run very, she ran okay, but she was well backed against her. The morning favourite was in the Gosden Yard as well, and they backed this one. Maybe Natasha for me, but and Rousset would be my two against the field. But I think, I'm a pedigrees man at heart, and I think C Speedwell or Natasha will win probably.
Okay, C Speedwell is a 3-1 shot. Natasha at 4-1. I'll just throw in Peripatetic to mention for Roger Varian and David Egan, who beat Fontaine and Chang Shi Newcastle back in October, who were rated 101 and 96 respectively. She's rated 86 here. She's run into some very good horses at Newmarket Lister Company, and she was given, let's be kind, quite a bit to do at Salisbury in a decent handicap last time out, and should be a strong stayer at the trip. So I'll take a chance each way with Peripatetic. Starting to realise how many Roger Varian horses I fancy tomorrow, so that could go either way. But what have we got in this 4:10, David, for this fillies handicap, apart from a very open race?
It is very open indeed, but I'm with you on Peripatetic. Was one place behind Rousset at Salisbury last time, but as you said, didn't pan out for that day. I'm hoping that she'll progress past Rousset here, and at 7-1, she is the each-way selection. But Frankie Dettori rides Natasha for the Gosdens. Frankie, of course, got off to a winning start today, and Frankie to ride a winner tomorrow is our next price boost. Was 11-8, now 2-1. So if you do fancy Natasha, you can have this and all of other Frankie's rides for 2-1.
Okay, there you go. Frankie Dettori to ride a winner at Goodwood on Wednesday is 2-1 out from 11-8 if you fancy it. On the chat box, what have we got here? Devo says peripatetic. Thanks, Devo. Great, lovely stuff. Yeah, thanks for the pun. State Occasion.
We needed a pun, didn't we? Really?
We did. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we've only had one, to be fair. We've only had the one. So, look, I gave you one. I'll probably save one till the end. Trying desperately to think of any famous Natashas, but I'm really struggling. As for the rest, Value Theory Estate Occasion also look interesting. And Natasha would also have a little bit of a chance. So, again, I think everyone else is about as puzzled about on this Phillies handicap as pundits are. But Paul Kealy, with 10p in your pocket, what would it be?
Yeah, it'd just about be State Occasion ahead of Mr. Rika.
Okay, State Occasion is an 11-2 shot for the Beckett stable. Tom?
Yeah, I won't be betting, but I thought Rousset might be the pick of the prices.
Okay, lovely stuff. And I will agree with David Stevens, which are, of course, it's not a great sentence to say, but peripatetic, David, fingers crossed, will turn it all around.
Every dog has its day, Ross, and this could be mine.
There you go. just gonna clip that out and play it on repeat every show. The penultimate race on day 2 of Glorious Goodwood then is a Fillies Condition Stakes, where the Platinum Queen is even money favourite. Star of Lady M is 4-1. All the Time is 11-2. Cruise at 7-1. Beautiful Eyes 17-2. Union Court is 9-1, and then it is a big jump out to full prime at 33-1 here for a 5 furlong 2-year-old conditions race. 25 grand on the table. A Glorious Goodwood winner. Certainly not the best race of the week, but the favourite looks very speedy indeed. Would it surprise me, Tom, if a couple of people were doubling up your Rocket Rodneys and your Platinum Queens for some 2-year-old 5 furlong action tomorrow?
Yeah, she was mega impressive, wasn't she, at York? Beat that very fast filly of Carl Burke's Yarsat, and she beat a mile. She had no chance the way the Queen Mary ran from stall 2. Still ran well, I thought. I think she's the class of this field. But we're going York to Goodwood. Very different track. I think she'll probably have no problems with it. She's incredibly fast. She was miles clear after a few furlongs yesterday. She's got a nice draw in stall 8. I thought Union Court ran very well in the super sprint for a long way, but she was getting quite a bit of weight that day and, sort of faded into 5th. So I think the Platinum Queen is boring, but I think she's the class of this field by quite some way.
Okay, the Platinum Queen then, her even money favourite for Richard Fahey and Oshin Orr. Paul Kealy, are you going to be boring too?
Yeah, Fate Show. I mean, she was 6-4 when the decks were first made. She's evens now. She'll be nearer 4-6 by the off. I think she's, that form was absolutely standout. Good enough to win the last 3 run-ins of the race. Mm-hmm. I assume they're the only 3 run-ins of the race because I couldn't see any more history of it. Something's going to have to improve in a big way. And I was surprised she wasn't odds on at the start. And I know there are unexposed fillies against her, but. If she looked that fast at York, think how fast she's going to look in the early stages of Goodwood. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be completely out the reckoning to see her 2nd or 3rd favourite for the Molecombe as she run, never mind for this. Well, yeah, she was 4th favourite, I think, in the anti-post anyway. Yeah. They've obviously got Eddie's boy for that, and so they've come here instead. And, it's a golden opportunity to get a win on the board at the meeting, isn't it? Okay, the Platinum Queen then is even money favourite ahead of Star of Lady M. All the Time, of course, run in the Queen Mary as well. And Cruise could be a Richard Hannon dropping down to 6 furlong each way double with Trillium. Both have very similar profiles. This one ran quite well at Newmarket, but yeah.
Oh my God, you missed about 50 puns there with Cruise. What's going on, Ross?
I don't know what to tell you, mate. I'm kind of concentrate on the racing. I'm trying to concentrate on the racing. I'm trying not to go overboard. That's what see, I throw one there and you completely miss it.
I got it. I thought you were going to do Top Gun and all those sort of
absolutely.
ones.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe we'll have a cocktail after the race and talk about it. But look, it's mission impossible trying to get to the end of this without trying to do so many puns. So let's just crack on. But David, you could do this job with your eyes wide shut. What do you make of this 4:45?
I'm just ticking off the Tom Cruise films as you were naming them. I didn't have eyes wide shut, so well done for that one. The Platinum Queen, of course, a bit like Rocket Rodney, by far the most likely winner. She will be popular in those doubles and trebles, Secret State in the first and Rocket Rodney. And I now feel slightly embarrassed having to say, but I thought Cruise was the interesting one. Ran over 6 on her debut. They're dropping her back a furlong here. Could be more to come from her. She could be the one to chase home the favourite.
Okay, there we go. But our pundits playing it pretty safe here with the Platinum Queen at even money, but understandably so. She looked very quick at York. And we've got one more race to go on day 2 of Glorious Goodwood. Very quick 5 furlongs for that penultimate race, and 7 furlong handicap with a big field to close out the card, which is sure to be very lively indeed. But the attorney is heading the betting here at 4-1. Wild Lion 5-1. Stockpile is 5-1. Mum's Tipple is 15-2. Just heard the hair stand up on the back of Paul Kealy's neck at the mention of Mum's Tipple. Amor Vincent Omnia is 17-2. Windseeker is 12-1. Dance Fever at 12-1. Linden B at 14-1. And bigger prices the rest. The Paul Kealy Heritage Handicap beaten last time out system comes into play, my good man.
Well, Cliff Horse time, I'm afraid, but he has run since because he ran at Newmarket. But ran really, really well. Much the best race of the season, so I'm going to give him another try. He's dropped £20 in the last year or so. He's running off 92. He showed last time that he's fully capable of winning off it. He's got stall 2. There's plenty of pace in the race, so I'm sure he'll track Bowman, something like that. And hopefully pull it out of the fire this time. He's definitely good enough to win this race. I don't think it's a class race. Stockpile's quite interesting, being a half pile driver. And the pennies, from starting to drop with him in a big way. But I'm giving Mum's Tipple one more shot.
Okay, Mum's Tipple, one more shot. There you go. Lovely stuff. Nothing gets past Paul Kealy.
You didn't mean it, though.
Yes, I did.
You didn't mean it. It was a complete fluke.
I'm quite clever, Tom. No, I had no idea that I'd said that.
Lovely stuff. Yeah. No one who's quite clever says I'm quite clever, do they? That's the giveaway. But Mum's Tipple drinks on keels.
We used to have a guy that write in and complain when you had moaners that tip about your tipping performances, and he would start his letter off with "I'm a very clever man."
Yes, that's true.
And then just ramble on and on like somebody who was definitely not very clever.
Do you know how long it took me to write that in crayon, Keels? Honestly, you never replied either. Never used to reply. Mum's Tipple is 15-2. Then finally at hand and team, following it off a cliff is Mr. Paul Kealy here. But tough race to close here, Tom. But I was looking back at this. Only one of the last 10 had been won by a horse without Goodwood experience here, and it is that kind of race, isn't it? It's a big field. It's 7 furlongs, like you said. That rattling into the home straight over this trip can be a tricky one to find your position, as we saw earlier with your Kinross and your Sacreds in the Lennox Stakes. And the attorney's got good form around here at 4-1, but again, the Charlie Hill stable could do with a winner. Was there anything that stood out to you at the prices?
Yeah, Stunning Beauty, I thought had a good chance. I know she's top weight, or he's top weight, or whatever, but I thought that she's just got good form. Dropping in class a bit. Ran at Newbury last time in a handicap, ran better than I thought. It was in the state occasion race, the one Keels was talking about earlier. I thought she can run well. And Keels talks about his horses that he follows over a cliff. Well, I have followed Pile Driver over so many cliffs until Saturday. I mean, he's done me so many favours over the lifetime. But I thought he had no chance on Saturday, and in he goes at a huge price. So I would love Stockpile to win. I'm Pile Driver's biggest fan by a country mile, I reckon, apart from his owners and his trainers and his jockeys and all those sort of ones. But so I'd love Stockpile to win, and I think he's got a good chance. I think he has. He's totally turned the corner. Sylvester de Souza, nice draw, totally transformed since sort of being ridden more prominently. I think he'll go really well. I think he's got plenty more to offer. But my two would be Stunning Beauty and Stockpile.
Okay, Stunning Beauty is a 16-1 shot here at top weights for the 7 furlong handicap. A couple of options for you there. I thought Dance Fever was a little bit interesting as well here. He's another one of those horses who you've got Ascot horses, and you've also got horses who hate Ascot. And Dance Fever is one of the latter. If you ignore his Ascot form, his 7 furlong form reads first, third, second, fourth, third, second, including 4 to Eratus here. A few starts ago, who should have won, maybe won part of the big race on Saturday.
Well, he won his half on Saturday.
He did, yeah. He won his half, so I think that's half decent form. I thought Dance Fever would have a little bit of a chance for the Clive Cox stable at 12-1. David Stevens, I'll hand it over to you to close us out with this 5:20 contest. What have you got up your sleeve?
5 places each way in this very tricky looking finale. If you fancy the Godolphin pair, we can give you them both for 4 to 1 from 3 to 1. Tom obviously fancying the bigger price one of the two. Once again, Ross, we are in agreement. I thought Dance Fever was an interesting one. It's got form over a mile, so 7 hopefully won't be any problem there. And his run last time obviously hinted that he was coming back to, you know, where we want to see him for this. But I'm slightly surprised that the Latin scholar, Mr. Segal, hasn't told us what amor vincit omnia means.
Hold on, let me Google it.
It means love conquers all, and what a lovely note to end on.
There we go. Said with plenty of cynicism there.
Unfortunately, Dave, one thing nobody loves here is your agreement on a selection.
Yeah, that was it. But we'll get through. We will get through with love and positivity. That's what we're going to take away from this yoga retreat this has turned into. But the attorney is 4 to 1 favourite for the last final shout out to the chat box. And Princess Ollie says Jesus. Hello to you. Speaking of love conquering all, also going with Windseeker as well. A little bit of a chances there. And Jim Fraser does say tomorrow is Mum's Tipple Day. So good luck, Jim, on joining the bandwagon with Mr. Paul Kealy. So it'll be oi-ois all round if Mum's Tipple wins.
Yeah, Cliff Horse won last time. Mum's Tipple. So next time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, don't back it tomorrow. Wait till Paul gives up. Selection in the last for you, Tom Segal, just to round up.
Yeah, I like Stunning Beauty and Stockpile.
Okay, lovely stuff, and I will agree with David Stevens. I'll go with Dance Fever there in the last race of the day. But day 2 of Glorious Goodwood could potentially be a procession for Baaeed. It could be an easy win for the 2-year-olds as well. But I'm hoping, in terms of naps, that we've got something a little bit more exciting for our pundits to leave us with. Paul Kealy, what is the nap on day 2?
I think the Platinum Queen's a good thing. I know that's a short one, but I just think she'd win.
Okay, there you go. Even when he for Paul Kealy. Tom, what have you got?
Solcombe in the first, hoping for a pace. I think he's got plenty more to give.
Okay, Solcombe it is. David?
I know Keith Melrose doesn't approve of me taking other people on with a nap, but I'm taking Tom on with Secret State in the first, and then if it wins, I fully expect Keels to get all the congratulations tomorrow night.
Yeah, great.
Okay,
So I should.
There you go. And why not? Let's go for She Do, 25 to 1, the Oak Tree Stakes.
Oh.
And it's well, we'll either remember it or forget it immediately, won't we? But this has been In the Know. This has been a preview of day 2 of Glorious Goodwood. Of course, we will be back for a preview of day 3, where hopefully the feature races will be a little bit more competitive. I do believe they are. I think the man to my left might well be taking the favourite on in the Nassau. So hopefully we can find a bit of value in that Group 1 contest. Best of luck tomorrow. Thanks to Paul, Tom and David. And thank you to you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.